Hello and welcome to Halloween Extravaganza 5. My name is Anthony Kerrigan, and we're going to be talking to the host of Highway of the Hidden, Brett Polarbear Sturdivant. Topics include Bigfoot and apparition encounter. If you have any questions, feel free to put them on this live feed. You can also go to our website, www.ghostarea.net, go to the contact page, fill in the blanks. If you have a personal message, just put in brackets private message. If you're affiliated with any paranormal team or tourist attraction, feel free to name the group or the organization and we'll give it a shout out to you. We are live on the Facebook page and you can watch back afterwards on the Ghost Era channel by clicking on the red button on the homepage of our website, www.ghostarea.net. By pressing the red button, you will have the opportunity to catch up on past shows. Hi, Brett. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Hey, how you doing, man? Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
It's wonderful to have you on there, Brett, and thank you. You interviewed me, so it's only right that I should interview you back and listen to what your experiences are. So, first of all, we're going to talk about Bigfoot, first subject there.
Okay.
So, can you tell us what is Bigfoot?
So, for me, Bigfoot is flesh and blood. There's a big argument out there among the Bigfoot cryptid community, whether it's flesh and blood or is it like an interdimensional being where it can step through portals. And maybe that's why so many people can't see it, or you see it one second and it's gone the next. But for me, I think it's flesh and blood because when I had my encounter, I know what I saw and it looked like an animal. And it wasn't
Okay.
like a extraterrestrial feeling, or you know what I mean.
Hmm. So, like you said, was it more like an animal? You mean like the kind of real life kind of ape thing that you would
Yeah,
see? Yeah.
for me and my that's just my personal opinion, but what I saw was an animal. I didn't see um the orbs behind it. Some people see like orbs behind it, they see like the different light things. Sometimes everybody has different encounters, but for me personally, I thought it was a big animal. I know it was a Bigfoot, but I believe Bigfoot is an animal is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because I hear some people say that this type of creature can be invisible as well. I've heard some cases
Mhm.
that people can hear the snorting of the creature being close to them as well, and the certain smells as well. But are there any cases of these sightings or evidence to suggest the creature is by you inhabiting where you are, where you live?
Well, actually, yes. So when the only I can't say when or the only. So yes, there's two cases that I know of that happened, and one was in 2017 when Hurricane Harvey hit. I know down around the beach area after the flood, they had a swarm of people, and somebody took a picture and posted it on the Facebook group. And in that group, they showed a footprint that's probably 18 inches long. And me, I tried to go see it, but they had it all blocked off. Cops were like, nobody can get in there because the water just receded, and they worried about looters and things like that. And that's
Hmm.
probably 15 minutes from where I was born and raised. And then I know they had
Right.
one in the town that I currently live in. They said it was on the news and they called it a giant monkey, but the people that reported it said that the monkey, as they call it, was digging in a trash can. And our trash cans that we take to the road are probably 5 foot, you know, 5 foot tall. And it was bent into the trash can, like at its waist, bent in, pulling food out. And then when they
Hmm.
saw it, cut the light on, it ran. And so that's the two
Okay.
that I know in this area. I know there's probably more, but that I know of are those are the two.
Okay, and like we've got a picture here of the kind of area that this is like the sort of kind of terrain that you live around. Is this kind of like sort of forestry? Is it?
Yeah, so I live in so what we that's like the big East Texas piney woods. I'm probably like 2 hours from like an area that looks like that. I live more in like a coastal plain, but
Hmm.
we still have swamps. We still have giant oak trees. We still have all that here. It's not completely like plains like you think.
Right. And Yeah, but what are your thoughts on these beings? Are they like being like is there procreation involved? It's like is there, or are they being created by advanced agencies like the
Uh,
government?
I don't necessarily, I don't necessarily think it's like the government experiment type thing,
Mm,
but I do believe that they are animals and they are packs. There's usually an alpha and other males and females and babies in groups, and they travel
mm,
in groups. That's what people think is just one. No, it's several.
yes.
However many, there's a ton of them, but they travel in groups in different areas. There's even different species of Bigfoot. You have the Patty type, which is what the famous film is, Patterson and Gimlin. And then you have the two that I know, the Gugway, which is translated to face eater, if I do believe.
Mm,
And if you have one of those encounters, like if you see a Gugway, you usually don't come back. Like that's just, they're very violent. They almost look baboon type face, you know, 9 to 10 foot tall, maybe 11 foot, 12, 1,300 pounds. And then you
mm,
have the Genosqua, I hope I'm saying that right, but it's like a stone giant. And they got their name because when they went to war with the natives way back when, they would put like they would make their own armor almost out of like stones and sticks and all these
okay.
things. And then when the natives got weapons like guns, they were able to shoot through all that and break their bullets. And that's when it turned to a completely different war at that point. But that was the Bigfoot War, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, yeah. No, this is interesting because I've not really heard that before there, but
Mhm.
I've heard like cases of giants being seen in like human kind of giants seen in other areas of the world and bodies being
Oh,
found of
yes.
it. Yeah, but is there been any cases of people like multiple witnesses say being attacked by these creatures as they may have been been in their territory?
There are cases, but I think they just get covered up very quickly. But there are
Mm,
cases of like rogue Bigfoot attacking people. And it's usually not like from the encounters that I read, it's not like a clan that will attack them. It'll be like just one individual Bigfoot that will attack people because they're going down the river the wrong way and they're in their territory. And so they want you out. So they'll do any means necessary. And they know that we're smaller than them. So they're not afraid to throw
so,
big rocks at you and stuff like that.
so do you reckon, like, as in intelligence, do you reckon they're able to be? I suppose their senses would be more advanced than us. Would you say
Yeah.
that? But would we be more intelligent than them, or I don't know what the word intelligence is. I don't know
Uh,
where we are these days.
yeah, I don't know if it'd be more intelligent than them because they're very smart. You know they
Mm,
remain hidden for all these years,
mm,
and they can communicate. Like you can look up the Sierra Sounds by Ron Moorhead, and he recorded them in the 70s or 80s. I'm not really sure on that timeline, but you can listen to them, and they're talking back and forth, and it's like almost a gibberish. Uh, to me, it sounds like a Japanese language. It's real like that sort of, but real
yeah.
deep. And if you listen to it, it'll make you wonder, right? Like, man, what? Because to
Mm,
fake that, which he would have had to have been in like 5 places at once to even fake that video and
yes.
or that recording. And yeah, so I believe they are very intelligent. I know they can. They see us way before we see them in the woods, and most of the time they'll move out of the way, so we're not. The encounter doesn't happen.
True. And like, what would be most common things in a diet? Like, especially in around the area where you live, what do you reckon would be mostly in the diet that would make them come to that area?
So for me, or where I'm at, like if they were going to go to East Texas, and also where I'm at too, it would be like the hogs, the deer, the
Mm,
fish, some berries and stuff like that. We have a lot of pecan trees, so the pecans when they fall, eating those, fruit trees and things like that. I don't think they have like one strict diet. They eat anything
mm,
that's pretty much
mm,
easily accessible to them.
yes.
And I've heard of them eating out of people's. So down here we have when we deer hunt, they put dried corn in a feeder, and it feeds the deer, right? And the deer come to it. I've heard of them, people witnessing them pulling the top off their deer feeder and eating the corn out of the deer feeder. Whatever they want, they pretty much take, or they'll go in people's sheds and take their dog food or their fish food or their cow feed or horse feed, and they try to, most of the encounters are very, relaxed, docile type, and they just try to grab and go. All they want is their food. But then, like, you asked earlier, they do have the ones that are very violent, and they don't want just peace and love and all that. They want you out, and they'll turn you into food.
Yes.
There are cases of them eating people, especially different cultures have stories of them eating people or having to trade women and children so they won't attack the village to them, so I think it just depends on what type you're dealing with, really.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I was going to ask you about them. Was there any cases of being, like, not multiple witnesses noticing the encounter of the Bigfoot there, but if there was any forensic details on bodies being found there, would there be that as well there? Any?
Not yet. The bodies that they do claim that have been found usually end up being fake. People just trying to make money off of it. And I think they bury their dead. And that's why. And if you look in like a region where I'm at, which is Southeast Texas, it's very hot. It's very humid. Bones and bodies deteriorate quick. We have coyotes. We have wild hogs eat anything, things like that. A lot of critters. So I don't think a body would last long. And I think like the ones that are in different parts of the country would be, it's either really cold, so maybe they freeze, or they're just so high up in the mountain nobody really goes up there and sees them, or they bury them. And I think they bury them.
All right. And as I was saying, like, I know it just comes into my head there. It comes back to what you just said about certain tribes maybe leaving out food, or even, like, would there be like any sacrificial kind of, like, for people? Now, I know it might sound weird, like King Kong and all that, the lady with the ape, like, but would there be that sort of thing in sort of stories or other civilizations maybe around the world?
There are definitely stories of them doing that, sacrifices and stuff. Sometimes they'll just come in at night and take the people that they want, right? And because you got to think, it's something's 9 to 12 foot tall, 1,400 pounds, solid muscle. You're not going to stop it. Whatever it wants, it's going to take, right? So there are cases where they just go in and just take people out of their beds, or even in not modern times, but like, houses and stuff. Them pulling people out back then, and I've heard stories, like recent stories, of them going into people's houses trying to get to the food or trying to get the things, and like just ripping the door off and going in, and nothing stopping them, especially if you build a house in their territory or what they think is their territory. There's a story I could tell you real quick about one that I read, and it interests me a lot. And it's if you want me to go into it, I can.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So there was this man, and this is recent, probably within the last 10 to 15 years. He had bought a piece of property and he developed it. He put the well and the septic and everything in it, and he was living life, right? Having a good time. And I guess these two Bigfoot had been in that area, but finally moved closer to see what the house was and all that, and was taking his chickens and things like that. And well, they were harassing him, chasing him, trying to scare him. But one day they cornered him, and he jumped into his septic tank, and he stayed there, for however long, till they got bored and they left.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to bring me into another cryptid, which is one of my personal favorite cryptids. And so the man bought two big dogs, two Cane Corsos. You know what those are, the big, massive Cane Corso dogs.
Right.
And he had bought two of them. Well, everything was cool as the dogs got older. Well, then one day the Bigfoot came back and killed one of his dogs.
Right.
And it devastated him. So he wouldn't let the other one out very much, or not out without supervision almost. Well, the dog ran off and he couldn't get the dog. And so he was like, you know what? I'm just going to go inside, hopefully the dog. And I want to say maybe like a couple weeks later, he's had enough, right? He goes out there, he's got his gun, and he's going. He's going to fight these things. He's standing at the wood line. He's screaming, come out, you know. And out of nowhere, his dog comes running past him. These Bigfoot are coming out of the tree line. They're coming towards him.
Right.
And they're mad. Like, they're on all fours. They're running towards him. And the cane corso shoots past him. And then next thing he knows, two big dog-looking creatures come by him, and at their back, on all fours, they were 6 foot tall.
Right.
When they got to the Bigfoot, they stood up on both feet, and they chased the Bigfoot into the woods. The Bigfoot turned and ran into the woods, and it turned out that his dog had somehow went and recruited what we call dog man down here, which is like imagine a werewolf that never shifts. It's just always in wolf form. And that's what the dog man is. And so in lore and legend, that the Bigfoot and dog man, and you can look this up on, just type in Bigfoot dog man, they have hated each other since the dawn of time. They don't like each other. They're very much against each other. And anytime a dog man goes in a Bigfoot area, it gets killed. Anytime a Bigfoot goes in a dog man territory, it gets killed. And supposedly they'll have wars, and you never know who's going to come out on top. It just depends on whose day it is or what they're facing. You put 10, 15 dog man against a gugway, or 2 or 3 gugways, the dog men are going to lose that every time. Right? It just depends on the day, really. And so that's one of the stories, that most recent ones that I've heard of them being harassing and trying to get somebody. And, and there's plenty. There's a siege of Hanobi, Oklahoma.
Right.
The people bought land in the mountain, and the Bigfoot were attacking the house daily. And they finally put on the BFRO, hey, we need help, which is a Bigfoot Field Research Organization website. And they came out there, and supposedly they had a shootout with the Bigfoot. Supposedly, I think that's what they were saying, but it ended up being like a big deal too. And so sometimes they're not always peaceful, tree loving giant encounters. Sometimes, there's some people that have encounters, man, and they never recover. Like, they never go back to normal. It drives them mad, because everything they were taught in life is broken, right?
Yeah.
So they don't know what to do. And I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I get on Bigfoot, man. I take off, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's interesting, because we had a lady from England, Deborah Hatswell. I don't know if you heard about her, but she was talking about the dogman as well there, and being in around the UK as well. And it's very unusual. As you said, it was is it called bipedal when an animal goes up on 2 feet? Was it like that? So was it like a werewolf kind of on foot, and then it was able to stand up?
Yeah, I think that's how it goes. So it was they both ran on all fours past him, and at the back. So they apparently they had went like real close to him when they ran by him, like from what he was saying, like within 2 or 3 feet they ran by him, and they were jet black. And when they got to the wood line where the Bigfoot were at, they stood up and they ran, and then they took off running on 2 legs with his dog right behind them, and they're running and they're going at him. Apparently he said he heard it sound like bombs going off back there. And then after that, the Bigfoot were gone, and he lets the dog man just hang out on his property because they protect it and they don't bother him. They eat his chickens and stuff every now and again, but they don't really mess with him.
It's very fascinating, because it's a clash of different species, and it's very interesting there. But it's we don't get that over here. Like, but there is stories. I just a few weeks ago, I heard stories about the werewolves of Oswey in County Kilkenny, which kind of be like dogmen as well. Go on. Sorry there, Brett.
Oh, I was going to say, so for my research, I love werewolves, right? Like, that is my number one. I've been in a werewolf since I was a kid. I've read almost every book you can think of about werewolves, from Montague Summers to I got his book right here. I can't even think of the dude's name. I've read a lot about them, but when you look at the dog man, it's completely different. It never shifts. It's never, most werewolves are men bitten by a wolf and turn into a beast, or make a pact with the devil or some kind of thing, and they turn into the beast, right? But dogmen are just that way, born that way. Highly intelligent apex predators is what they are. But they're flesh and blood as well. So you take a werewolf, right? It's supernatural. It can not everything's going to kill it, right? You
Yes.
could take 40 Bigfoot and put them against one werewolf. The werewolf's going to win 10 out of 10, right? There's no way they're going to kill that werewolf.
Yeah.
But a dog man is different. And so me being into werewolves my whole life, when I found out about Dogman, only like 2 or 3 years ago, I found out about Dogman. I jumped on it and I went deep dove into it. You know, I really just took off with it. And then when I found out about Bigfoot and Dogman not liking each other, that even sparked it even more for me. You know, because it's like, oh, now we have a cryptid rivalry. Of course, we all know about the rivalry, like werewolves and vampires hate each other, right? Since the dawn of time, the both brothers or whatever it was, you know. And so for me, it's kind of like the same thing, but it's Bigfoot and Dogman, two totally different things, like flesh and blood going at it. And that's what I love about it, man.
It's amazing there. We could talk about it even more. It's amazing. We must talk. We'll come back again and we'll talk even more about it there.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do it again.
Even the dogmen or werewolves,
Yeah,
be even better as well again. I was going to say, so I'm going to talk on to the next subject, which is going to be apparition encounter there, Brett.
Okay.
So, first of all, what did this encounter? Where did this encounter happen? And if you can disclose what happened, so where did it happen first?
Okay, so I've had four encounters that have happened, but I'll go into the one that I've never told anybody. And it was like, I don't remember the year, probably like 2015, 2014, around that time frame.
Okay.
I was leaving my brother's house. And that's the thing. I can't remember if he was with me or not. And I asked him about it. I said, hey, do you remember this? And he's like, I don't remember, but but that's not saying anything. And I'm driving down the road, right? And I'm in Texas on this back road, and I'm in Sweeney. And if people who from there know Sweeney, Texas, they know the back road, right? And I'm driving, and I get to the T section, right? So supposedly the road's very haunted, is what they said. Apparently, there's a satanic church. There's a lot of stuff back there, supposedly, is what they say. I've never seen it, but that's just what they say. And so I pull up to the stop sign and I hang a right. And this road, mind you, it's built up now, but back then it wasn't. It was all pitch black woods, both sides, and a little two-lane road. The only reason people would even be on that road is if they were hunting or, going somewhere like that. Like, it's not a very used road. Now it is, but it wasn't then. And I'm driving, and I swear I had my brother with me, but I don't remember, like I said. And I see this man walking, and he's bent over and he's holding his stomach.
Right.
And I'm like, man, does he need help? Right. So I turn around, and I swear I saw like blood on his shirt where he was bent over. And I'm like, man, I wonder if he needs help. And I go to slow down and I go to back up, and he's gone. And that's why I needed him to kind of reassure me, like, hey, it was this time period, because his clothes didn't match the time period that we're in. They looked older. So, I can't say the time frame. I'm not going to say like colonial times, because that's not what it was. But it was definitely, could have been a little bit past that era, maybe,
Yeah.
But he was bent over, and I remember seeing just a red stain on his shirt, and he was gone. So I booked it, man. I'm not going to lie. I didn't, call the cops or anything. I booked it. I took off.
Yeah.
Right. And it stuck with me for a long time. And do I believe that road's haunted? No, but did I see something that night? Yeah. So could it go with the legends that come out of that? I don't know. I can't say that because I've never, ghost investigated it or heard any other stories other than just like teenage or people my age or local kids telling stories,
Was this during the daytime or like dusk or night?
No, it was nighttime. It was probably midnight. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I suppose that'd be easier then for like an apparition or a person or an apparition to be manifest and disappear without being. It's hard for us to capability to sense it. Yeah. So you said the motion of it was bent over, and like I suppose the past couple of 100 years, the clothing was Was there anything else in that area like could have obscured or like could have hid, like being a person that could have a person hiding behind somewhere?
See, that's what I thought too.
Hmm.
But the way, so my headlights were on the road, but not on him. So I caught like the side, and he was bent over like this, and he looked white, like everything was white, but you could just see the stain on his shirt when
Right.
you went past. Man, I think that dude's hurt, and that's
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
backed up,
Yes.
and me
Yeah.
thinking, and I said the same thing. Well, maybe he fell in the bush, but there's nothing there, so I took off, and I was browsing Facebook and all that. Nobody ever said anything about anybody getting hurt or anything, and I could, I think it was a ghost. Because why would somebody be out there running on that road at midnight? 1 o'clock in the morning. There's no reason for anybody to even be near that area.
Yeah, if you were running that time of the night, you would have some sort of torchlight on you, like a head torch, like or something like that.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
There would be people going for probably runs late at night, but then again, they would have some sort of lighting and knowing. You see them in shorts. You see them in reflective gear. You
would
wouldn't see
something. Yeah, not just running out there because it's a very dark road. It's very easy to get ran over on that road. It is. It's a 2-lane, very small road, and there's no shoulder. So if you're running on the concrete and this person doesn't see you, because a lot of people that do use that road, they're usually under the influence of drugs or alcohol, and so they're not. They could be pretty blitz and they don't see you, and you don't have anything on. And that's what, and it's one of those things.
Have you been back to that area again and try at that time of the night as well?
Yeah, we used to go all the time, but I'm older now. I don't usually stay out late anymore, and it's all built up now, so it just wouldn't make. I mean, I can't. You know what I mean? I can't say I go out there because I don't. And usually when I do go out there, I go a different way now. It's just easier.
Yeah.
It's just things like that. But yeah, that's one of the ones that I've never told anybody. And it just kind of figured I'd let you have that one first. Man.
Thanks for letting us know that. As well, we're going to touch because you do a podcast show there, and it's can you tell us more about it? Well, your podcast show.
Yeah. So Highway of the Hidden, it started as a dream of mine probably 3 or 4 years ago. Hearing people talk and and I figured, I could do this, right? And it started with my interest in the cryptids. And then I found podcasts of people talking about it. Well, then, I've had my paranormal experience, and I've always watched the paranormal stuff on YouTube and things like that, the different people, and plus listening to podcasts. So I was like, man, let me try this, right? I want a safe space where people can come on and say, hey, I've seen this. This is what happened to me. And it's just kind of grown from there. And that's what gave me the spark, right? So I sat in my room, and I just started it back in January. And I sat in my office, and I was like, man, let me come up with a name. What would be a cool name? What would be a cool name? And finally, I'm sitting there, and I figured, man, something cool. Highway of the Hidden came up, and I took off with it, right? And then that was my dream. And then now, I'm meeting people from everywhere, and they're telling me their paranormal experiences, their cryptid experiences. And I do conspiracies, but I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I don't usually venture too much into it on my podcast because it's very touchy, and I don't like, I don't want to be offensive. So I try to steer away from it.
It's hard to do that, isn't it? With the conspiracies there, But I suppose there is some interesting ones. Like I suppose like the man on the going to the moon. Like I would be all for it. Like years ago, I would have said, it did happen. But now I'm kind of like, well, it's been a bit of a long time now.
Yeah, that's one. I'm like, no, it didn't happen, and that's the thing too, man. So usually, like for me to do a conspiracy episode, I'll have to have a guest that is into it, and and that way we can go back and forth on it, because if I have someone that doesn't believe it, I don't want to spend 30 minutes trying to convince you that this is what's really going on. You know what I mean? I'd rather hear about cryptid experience or your paranormal experience or your knowledge on either or. I'd rather do that. I'd rather learn something than try to convince you otherwise.
Yeah, I know. Well, thank you for having me, and it's great having you on tonight's show there,
Thank
Brett.
you.
And what have you got lined up for Halloween in the next few days?
So I have a buddy that I'm going to do an episode with. Going to try to release that one. Have a few paranormal ones. I want to do a Centaur episode. Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to do a few cryptids, but I'm probably going to try to do some paranormal stuff. I want to cover. Oh God, what was it? I forgot what it was, but I want to cover some more paranormal stuff, or have some more paranormal guests. Pretty much, that would be cool.
Yeah, well, thank you, Anne. And there's a few people that be watching here will subscribe. It's on YouTube, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's Highway of the Hidden on YouTube, just right there. Yeah, right there. Just as on my hat. Highway of the Hidden. All right. Yeah, I can't see. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just like that on my hat. It has my logo that you just put up on the screen. Has that right there. Just click it. Has your video. Has all kinds of videos on it from where I very first started to now. When I first started, I didn't do video. I would record audio and then just post the audio, but make it in video format. And finally, I was like, no, I'm going to start doing the videos. So now it's slowly getting better.
Yeah, well, it's amazing, and it's on Instagram as well. Is that you got an Instagram page as well?
Yes, I do. I have Instagram, Polarbear, HOTH, just one word all mixed together. Polarbear, HOTH.
Okay, really, thank you there, Brett, and thank you everyone who's watching it. Well, won't see you next time. We'll see you in the near distance. Stay tuned for more interviews and the premiere of Redwood, Hide or Shriek. Bye bye for now.
Bye, y'all. Thank you, Anthony.
I'll press stop now.